Azure sat in the cafe, taking in all the sights and sounds around him. After placing an order, he sat next to a window near the front of the shop. I want to see all the people this place has to offer, Azure thought excitedly. This was his first time in such a busy city. There was so much going on and so many people carrying about on their way. For Azure, this wasn't just a first-time experience in a new city. This was his first time in a big city on the planet Earth. As the people passed by the window, Azure stared, his lips slightly ajar, gazing at each person. A man with a sports jersey carried a sack of groceries. I wonder what he is cooking for lunch. A woman with headphones walked the opposite direction, a slightly upbeat step in her stride. What is she listening to? Azure wanted to dive into each person's story. I bet he is cooking some steak and rice for lunch, he thought as he pondered and smiled at the thought. And she is listening to some music with a saxophone. Or saxophone. I think that is what it is called. Only reading and learning about this planet from afar, through pictures, literature, comic books, Azure's imagination ran wild with all the possibilities each person held. Azura? A voice from behind him echoed. It's Azure, he shouted back across the cafe. It was the first time someone from this planet said his name. The patisserie clerk gazed with an uneasy smile, holding a white paper bag as Azure approached for his order. Oh, désolé, monsieur, the bartender said. It's okay, mon ami, Azure replied with over-enthusiasm. The bartender blinked before smiling back. Okay, man. Enjoy your day, Azure. Azure grabbed his order, smiled, and walked back to his table to inspect what he ordered. Let me see. This sweet one is for Garvey, the powdery one is for Petal, and the yellow one is for me. Azure stared at his order inside the bag. Maybe I should try the sweet one. Garvey loves these, he thought. After gazing inside the bag for a few short moments, Azure looked up again, the crowd outside catching his gaze once more. Wish I could do this more often, Azure thought as he slid back into his chair. Everything that was going on around him was very busy, yet not so on edge. From living in the Idukurian planet system, surviving and maintaining the ecosystem was a daily chore for him. Since he was a young boy, since he was raised on Idukuria and only hearing about Earth from the previously enslaved humans, he learned how to live like they did. Suddenly, Azure heard a small ringing in his pocket. He reached into his pocket to find a small, circular object. Clicking a button in the middle, Azure held the object to his ear and was greeted by a familiar voice. Azu, a female voice said. You need to get back to the orphanage now. The party will start soon. Garvey is on his way back on the bus. The decorations are almost complete. Just get back now. The voice hurriedly ordered Azure. The voice commanding him was Petal, his leader on his mission to Earth. Oh, I got you a few things, Azure replied, almost ignoring what she had just said. There are so many pastries and good things. So delicious. You have to try. Azu, get back now, okay? And don't do anything that will reveal yourself as an Idukurian. So, wherever you go, hurry and bring it back. No fooling around. Yes, Idukurian captain, leader and matriarch, Azure said, slightly raising his voice jokingly. Petal let out a heavy sigh. Oh, relax, Petal. Humans don't know what Idukurian or anything. Don't worry, Azure said assuringly. Get back now, Petal replied sternly before a small click could be heard signaling the end of the communication. Azure took what he had just bought and packed it away in a backpack. Having one last look around the patisserie, he smiled and swiftly left the building, merging himself with the pedestrians outside. After walking 1 block, he swiftly turned into a dark alley where a small, old minivan was parked. Next to the van, an old man stood staring at the vehicle before seeing Azure make his way toward him. "Is this your vehicle, monsieur? This thing doesn't have a permit to be here." "Oh, excuse-moi, monsieur. I will move it immediately," Azure replied as he walked past the disgruntled man and jumped in the van. The man looked at Azure with a confused look on his face. "You know, I don't believe this old minivan can even move. It looks very rusted and doesn't even have a muffler. It belongs in a compound lot. How will you move it?" the old man asked. Azure just smiled as he held his hand out of the man's vision. From his outstretched palm, a small flurry of grain-like machines travelled from his palm and into the small cracks of the dashboard. In a short moment, the minivan came alive. The old man stared with his mouth ajar, unable to explain how a rusted machine just came to life. Azure slowly drove away, leaving the man in a state of bewilderment.